So hello there and welcome to another interview of the Shield Dude in the Couch. So today I have James Benson from the band Comatose from Minnesota. He's the singer and the guitar player for the band. And they released an album last year, which I bought on vinyl here, Comatose, way back. Great album. It was a great debut album. I really enjoyed it. I remember, I think I chatted with you last year through Instagram when you were gonna have it album out, and you gave me the information. And I think I got the. I remember. I think I got the album before you did.
Yeah, indeed. Because I had to go pick them up from Illinois, which is it's about a 5-hour drive down to where our label was stationed. So they've got a nice big warehouse, but I had to go fetch them myself.
Yeah, that's
actually. I'm trying to think. I think I might have gotten them. Not until like almost September of last year. Not to like vinyl delay it's still going on. So
no, it's still going on.
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember when I got my copy. I can't remember right now. But yeah, I got it, and I thought it was a solid debut, and I like it how you call your band GrungeGaze. And I think it really blends well with what you play with the music, because there's grunge, but there's a lot of shoegaze. So I think the term goes well. So I wanted to ask you, because of that term that you use for the band, what would you cite as your major influences, like growing up? What you like?
It's a hard question to really answer, but it's pretty easy with some of what's behind me, at least, to gauge what might be some of my interests. But personally, and while I was kind of the main writer for the first album, since then it's been the whole band writing. So it's definitely expanding a little bit in terms of sonically what sound we have. But for probably since I was 15, so the last 16 years of my life, I'll be 31 in about 2 weeks. My main three influences since I was a teenager, when I started playing and writing music, have been three bands. And the first one to really get me pumped and want to write music was Led Zeppelin.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Introduced by a family member. And then probably shortly thereafter, I was introduced to Under Oath, and I apologize if there are dogs barking in the background because I have 4. We just got home from a walk, so
that's okay.
In any case, yeah. So Zeppelin, Under Oath, and the folk black metal band, now rest in peace, they don't play anymore, Agalloch.
Okay. Oh yeah, they were so good. I think from Portland, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, they were a great band. Oh my God, those dogs are rabid.
I know. I'm pretty sure my wife just is getting home from work, which is why they're going nuts.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I used to have a basset hound, and they were loud when they barked, and they peed everywhere and the hair. So yeah, I know the struggles of being a dog owner. And yeah, it must have been that something got there and they started barking. So I remember last year when I started the channel, I think one of the first videos I did was a 90s rock revival. And I talked about, I think, Teenage Wrist, Super Bloom, and I included Comatose in that video. And I think you shared it on the Facebook. Right now, I think the last few years, I think since 2015, there's been a strong revival of bands that gravitate to that 90s sound, and I think it's great. I think the first one I listened to back in 2015, and I saw on Spotify you included them on that list. I think it was the band Super Heaven. Which is a shame. I think they're not putting out anything new anymore, but I love the 90s, as you can tell from the albums I have in the back and my Smashing Pumpkins t-shirt. It's the music that I grew up with, and it has like a special place in my heart. What do you think prompted, because there was a time that they said that that grunge was dead, that type of music was dead. What do you think like prompted so many bands to revive this style of music?
I'm not really in conversation too much with like my peers, and I don't really know a whole lot of people personally playing this style, or like in at least in like the sphere of this genre of kind of like 90s tinged rock, that I guess, all the bands you listed, I certainly agree, are definitely, especially the records that are behind you. Obviously, Quicksand's been doing it since I was basically a baby. I see that
Yeah,
record behind you.
yeah, that's a great record from last year. Yeah.
Yeah, I caught them. I caught them in Minneapolis when they were up here with Narrowhead, so that was pretty sweet. Yeah, honestly, my best guess, and what really wrote it home to me, was watching the Super Bowl in February, is that millennials are the target audience. And what did we listen to growing up? 90s rock and 90s grunge.
Yeah.
And so I feel like a lot of us are, at least in our 30s, if not, or some of them even into our early 40s now.
I'm in my
So
40s, so yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's and in that even reaches into like, I mean, maybe you're considered Gen X technically, at the tail end of Gen X and such, but
Yeah,
that's what
I'm Gen
that's
X.
what a large portion of us are reminiscing about. Maybe not necessarily our childhood in particular, but we associate, and I strongly always have memories with music at particular points in my life.
I am the
And so
same.
I mean, I can remember specific albums and relate them to specific events in my life. It's very poignant. um that's maybe my guess, and maybe it's kind of a cultural shift in like what the target audience is, but Super Heaven is probably the first real modern grunge band that kind of got me interested in playing that style of music to some degree. But I've always been into the post rock, post black metal, like Agalloch, Alcest, that kind of like black metal goes into somewhat shoegaze territory.
Yeah.
And that's always been something I liked, and that broadened into a lot of shoegaze. And the guys that I play with now with Comatose, we were all in a band with the exception of the other guitar player. Adam was actually kind of like the fill-in for me, because I occasionally wouldn't tour or play shows with Fail to Decay, which was our old band, because I would go on tour with my other bands. So Adam was always our permanent fill-in, but the other guys, Jake and Darren, also basically we played in a deathcore band for a decade together. But
Yeah.
when you play in a metal band, eventually you get sick of listening to metal in the van. And so a lot of our influences going into Comatose, starting about 2-ish years ago, now almost 3 years ago, when I started writing for Comatose, not even intentionally, I was just writing songs, and I didn't know what they didn't fit into anything that I was playing in at the time. And a lot of like the Super Heaven and Title Fight was a really big influence on us. A lot of that, and even a lot of metalcore. Some of the more post-rocky influenced metalcore that we listened to is kind of something that really influenced us. So that's a long-winded answer for a question, and then explaining a little bit more probably that you might have asked about down the line. But
No, that's
that's
okay.
my answer.
It's good conversation. But when I got this album, the first one, when I first saw the cover, because I knew about your band, because there's someone in the Puerto Rico metal scene. His name is Wesley, and he always likes to talk about bands. And he put that in a Friday, because I remember it came out digitally like at the beginning of 2021. And
Yep.
when I looked at the cover first, I thought you were a hardcore band. I don't
We
know
do.
why.
We definitely have like a metal logo. On top of that, I can honestly say like my biggest inspiration for the cover art, which was done by my bass player Todd and Amiensis, the cover art is actually kind of a play off of Underoath's third album, The Changing of Times,
Oh, nice.
which is like when they still had their first vocalist and still were kind of a hardcore metalcore influenced band mostly. So that's I mean, having listened to and played a lot of hardcore in the past, it's definitely
Yeah.
the influence.
Yeah, but I remember then when I listened to the music, I'm like, whoa, I wasn't expecting what I was listening to. So yeah, I gravitated to it very quickly. And it was a great debut. But now, obviously, you worked on a new EP that luckily you sent to me, and I was able to listen to it. And it's called Sex Over 30. So yeah, I want to show the picture of the upcoming EP. Let me know when you can see it.
Yep.
So yeah, it reminded me of I think I don't know why that cover. I think of like a Deftones vibe, like
Yeah.
with the type of the cover. And I really like the songs Sex Over 30, the Stuck in the Mud, Fly, and Needle in the Hay. Something that I found listening to this EP is that I felt more alternative grunge on this one than the first one.
Hmm.
Like more strongly than the shoegaze elements on this
Hmm.
one. Is this like the type of sound that you want to move into on this EP? And obviously, did you have that in mind, or did it change because of having the more collaboration with the other members in the band writing process for this one?
Yeah, it's mostly the latter. It was probably more so the influence of all of three of us writing, the three non-drummers basically. Jake writes all of his drums and stuff, and the way that I demo with Adam and Darren is generally we just send guitar, like we just write straight guitar parts and send it off to our drummer, and he sends us back some drums. And then I write vocals last, pretty much on everything in that order.
Nice.
But let's see. So I keep thinking of them as their demo names, which is just numbers. The names only came about in the last 2 weeks since we finished all of it. So let's see.
Yeah, so I feel very lucky to have
Three
heard
of
it.
them. Thank you. Yeah, three of them were just collaborations of Adam and I sitting down and writing. Sometimes I'd have like a couple of riffs recorded, and I'd be like, "Hey, come check these out and see what you think." And then he'd lay down a couple, and then we'd all of a sudden have a song finished in like an hour. It's just really fast. But we had about 13 songs or so demoed in full, going into September last year, and then just life circumstances happened. Adam ended up moving about 4 hours north, and we had to reschedule our tracking, but then COVID got really crappy again. And I mean, I got COVID once in January too. And at this point, I'm surprised everybody hasn't had it yet, but they haven't.
I haven't had it.
Really?
I'm one of the of the lucky ones. Yeah, no, I haven't had it. So yeah, so
I was very proactive about getting vaccinated and everything, but I work in healthcare. So I was like, no
oh,
matter what, I'm exposed all the damn time. So I figured I would get it, but I'm young, so it wasn't bad. In any
so
case, we had to push back the dates to track, and yeah, we actually just kind of voted on what 4 songs we wanted to track in the moment, and these were the 4 that got the most votes.
no, nice. And
Yep.
the cover, what are you trying to convey with the cover? I see you that you have the woman floating in the water, looking at the logo. Like who did this cover? Like what was the inspiration?
Adam actually did our cover, our guitar player. So he's kind of the graphic designer behind the scenes. He does a lot of the artwork and has the ideas. So a lot of merch stuff that we've worked on or already have out, Adam actually drew himself.
Nice. Yeah,
I honestly, I'm not 100%. We haven't totally discussed all the way what his inspiration was on this. We went through a couple different versions of it before we settled on this color scheme for now. So it may end up even changing, to be honest. We haven't figured out when and where we may publish it, but this is the working cover at the moment for promo. So
okay, for now we have this cover. So
yeah.
so yeah, no, but it looks great. And so you being 30 and being titled Sex Over 30, like does it get better?
Well, I guess.
Well, I'm
I mean,
40, so
I'll
I
be
can
30.
probably.
I'll be 31. I'll be 31 pretty soon. So I would say, yeah. I do have to explain it. So that was actually our working band name for almost until we basically after finishing the first album. That was our name. And it had been for a solid year and a half since we decided to start the band in the first place. And it really just was an inside joke about we were on tour in, I think, maybe 2018, and talking about, Darren is a couple years older than me. He'll be 33 next month when I turn 31. So we kind of talked and joked about just like, oh, we're, one of us is finally turning the big 3-0, and it was kind of like he's got to settle down and find a good woman and become. We always used to call his, for some reason we called him Stepdaddy Darren all the time. So it was just a play off of his name, and it became the working band name. And
Hilarious,
so so I mean, at some point they were like, no, we're not going to get anywhere with that name. We have to pick a real serious name. And I was like, all right, that's fine.
yeah. I
But
think
going into
Comatose is a better name. But
it is, but I said, hey, we got to use this sometime. People love this name. We actually had all of our merch design. Adam designed our merch with the name Sex Over 30 at first. So it had to be used
with
sometime.
Sex Over 30, it sounds like a pop punk band name. If you think about it, like it
True.
sounds like something like that. If you put that name and you're like, no, we need to do some pop punk now. But yeah, no, the EP, I love the EP. The songs were great. Like I said, they
Thanks.
were more leaning into the alternative grunge thing. And
Definitely.
I saw that you have an upcoming show, and I'm gonna show the picture here of the upcoming show that you're playing. I think it's in September.
Yep.
I was looking at that. Where's this festival?
That festival will be in La Crosse, Wisconsin, which is about an hour east of us into Wisconsin. So, or hour east of where I'm located. Actually, nobody else is based in my city anymore. We're all from the area, but everybody else is spread out, and they're all in Minnesota, but different places. So it's going to be at the Warehouse, which is a venue that a lot of us grew up playing in our other bands and stuff for, and it's been around since 1990, which is nice. Even before I was born. And they're one of the few non-alcohol serving music venues, major music venues that are around. So
okay, that's interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of bands. I was looking at the name. There's a lot of names that I don't know. Are there mainly like rock bands, or is there some other type of bands playing that?
Yeah, it's a very very mixed bill of mostly Midwestern artists. So Midwestern US, of course. A lot of Wisconsin and Minnesota based bands. There's a very popular radio station called The Current that plays a lot of these, based out of Minneapolis. And Minneapolis is a very large eclectic scene. Obviously, we're best known for having Prince in Minnesota. And he's very beloved, and rightfully so. So it's the music scene in Minneapolis especially is very all over the place. I'm still most only familiar with the metal scene, having grown up playing in like black metal bands and deathcore bands.
Yeah, no, but it sounds. When are you guys playing? Do you know the date that you're playing for that show?
Yeah, we're playing Saturday the 17th at the Warehouse. So there are actually multiple venues. I think there's like 4 or 5 different venues for the festival in total.
Yeah, sounds good. Like a good deal, So when you're not playing music or walking your dogs, what
which I do a lot of the walking the dogs. I just got back.
What are your other hobbies that you like to do?
Well, coming up when it stops snowing here, as it has been today, I grow a lot of peppers and make hot sauce.
Nice.
Sell hot sauce in the fall with a buddy of mine. And other than that, I mean, I have a full-time job as a counselor. I've been doing that for about 8 years, and that's pretty much the life. I watch a lot of hockey.
Yeah. Growing up over there, there's a lot of hockey over there. So yeah, I would imagine. So I know finally, I want to ask you, when are you planning to release the EP, and what are the future plans for Comatose at the moment?
We're hoping to probably release the EP in June. We just want to have enough time to make something substantial. I know that vinyls, it's got to be a solid. Yeah, you might be able to get them in 3 months if you just go straight black. on a 7-inch, but is it worth the cost overall? Not necessarily for an EP. So we've kind of nixed that out. We have a couple pretty cool ideas for physical versions of the album that are not CDs or cassettes or vinyl, which will probably get figured out here pretty soon and get ordered. And then we wanted to do a couple of cool different merch ideas. Maybe not necessarily super original ideas, but better than just t-shirts, which is pretty much, besides koozies, all we've got at the moment, besides vinyl records too. So we're ironing out some of those details before we pick an actual release date. We're hoping, like I said, June sometime. And other than that, we're looking to play a lot of Midwestern local stuff. Touring's still difficult to do with COVID. And I'm in the middle of selling a bus to get a van again. Had a bus for about 4 years, but gas prices are just obliterating the ability to tour in a vehicle that gets eight miles per gallon.
I know you guys did a song for Ukraine too. I saw.
Indeed.
I saw today, so I didn't get to listen to that song. But yeah, that's very nice, to write a song to get money, for that cause. So
yeah, we have a couple of designs. One of them's on a recent shirt that we just published in the last month from a friend of ours who's in Ukraine, artist friend. He's drawn for a couple of my other bands as well, Amiensis being one of them that he's drawn quite a bit for. So he goes under the name Warhead Art if you're looking for him on social media. He's more active on Instagram than Facebook. I don't think he even does a Facebook at all anymore. But yeah, we just wanted to kind of support some of our friends over in Ukraine, and what's going on over there is obviously horrible.
It is.
And yes. I mean, we could talk about that for a very long time. And there's not a whole lot we can do outside of trying to financially support them at the moment. So that's what we're aiming to do. We haven't, with a single made tons of money, but we've made some and been able to send it to a couple of our friends into the Ukrainian aid services over there right now. So it is a future song that will be on the next album. And that's kind of where we're hoping to go in the next year is to be able to put out another full-length album. We have
that would be songs for next year, correct?
Yeah, yep, it would be for 2023. So, and I mean, the songs are written, they're demoed completely. But we're stoked to, first play some of these new songs off the EP that'll be coming out. And we played one of them when we did like a weekend run with some friends out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin last month. And we played one of them live. We didn't have enough time to get together and play the rest of them yet. So we have played them like once or twice in a practice so far, and we're pretty stoked on it since they hit. They're meant to be played live, and that's really cool because all of us haven't been in a band where like the focus was basically just to play it. We as a 4-piece, it's a bit different.
No, yeah, I agree, and I'm glad that since that I've been able to talk about your band on the channel, and I was looking forward, to interviewing you because I really love bands that play styles that are the 90s because I'm a sucker for the 90s. So again, James, it was great, you taking some time to chat with me a little bit.
Yeah, no problem.
And,
thank you.
Hopefully we can put the link, let the people know that, that new music is coming out soon and a new album next year. So, and if they have, do you still have copies of Away Home?
We have less than 10. Of the vinyl, at least we have CDs, but otherwise vinyl, it's only the gold edition right now that we have. The other splatter. Do you have the splatter one?
Yes, let me show it quickly. Where can people get the version? Do they need to like this?
Yeah, if you're looking for the splatter version, our record label Transcending Records has the splatter still available in, I think, pretty limited quantity at this point. Quality is good.
Quality is great.
Quantity is limited. My bad. I
can tell everyone that the quality of this album on vinyl, it sounds great.
Yeah, I was impressed. It's not the first record I've done with them because I have a couple of other bands that have released music through them too. So, but Yeah, they do a great job printing. I've really liked working with them over the years with several bands, including our former band Fail to Decay. So you can find not only the album, but some assorted demo versions off the album and some other songs that haven't been published anywhere else besides our Bandcamp at comatose.mn for Minnesota.bandcamp.com.
Nice.
Yeah, there's some other tracks up there that you might hear on the next album. You might not. We got plenty of music. It's just this is the first band where I haven't self-produced right here in my little studio. We actually, want to go play it live when we record it. So we go mic it up and play it.
Yeah, sounds like a deal. And hopefully you can come down to Florida soon and play, because yeah, that would be cool to go watch you guys play live.
I'd love to. I haven't been to Florida in about 5 years, so
yeah, you haven't missed much. Don't worry.
Yeah, good point. I know what you mean. Sorry.
Well,
I'm sorry.
yeah, I'm originally from Puerto Rico, so people say like in Miami, oh, the beaches are great. I'm like no, I'm spoiled. I'm from an island.
Yeah.
I really know what nice beaches look like. So unfortunately, the ones in Miami ain't it. But yeah, but at least the weather's nice. But yeah.
True.
But again, James, thank you for taking your time. So everyone, listen to Comatose if you love 90s music, grunge, shoegaze. I think it's a band that you will enjoy. And until next time, this is Hector, the Shield on the Couch, and I'll see you right here on the couch. Thank you and have a great day.